This is Anglerfishy, and this is going to be a very different video than what I usually do. I don't plan on this being a pattern of any kind. I usually hold a doll for these videos. I don't have one with me except for a little Mama Chop doll, but I'm mostly going to have her here for emotional support because this is going to be different. I'm not talking about my collection. That's usually what I do, you know, to talk about my collector experiences, but I felt inspired to talk about doll current events in the vinyl world. So if you're active on social media, you might already know that Smart Doll is kind of a mess right now. That's not entirely true. It's not Smart Doll specifically. It's really Danny Choo's PR choices. Before I really talk about a recent event that's occurred that's getting a lot of people to question whether they want to continue supporting Smart Doll, I do want to give a disclaimer of a few things. First of all, this is going to involve discussions of white supremacy, Nazism, so I mean, if you are this is hilarious. This is so funny to me. But if you don't want to hear if you're just here oh, I was gonna watch a video about dolls and I'm gonna be talking about this kind of stuff, then this is not the video for that. Secondly, is I'm not a Smart Doll owner. With that being said, the short of it is that Danny Choo had an accidental Nazi moment. So he released basically not product photos, but social media photos for an upcoming outfit. And this post is actually deleted from his Instagram. I don't know if he took it down or if it was reported, but it's not on Instagram. But if you are still curious about seeing the post, you can actually still view it on Smart Doll Shop. It's still up there. You can because they have an Instagram section, so you can still check it out. So we're actually going to read through the post. I'll put up an image of it on the side as well, so you can know what I'm discussing. So this is a preview for a doll and an outfit that's coming up, and she has. I'm not going to mimic the pose, but she's doing she's in a military outfit. She's doing a somewhat heroic, arm, her arm is out at eye level, and she's like commanding troops essentially. And it's not visible at first, but once you go through the photos, you can see that she has a red armband as well. So, we have an anime girl in a black military outfit doing a commanding pose with her arm stretched all the way out to her eye level, and you see what I'm getting with this. This is so funny. This is so funny. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but so already from the description some people are like, okay, that's a little close. And then here's the description. So it says here, as a Solar Marine commander, you will be responsible for leading the tactical operations of the Solar Marines across the volcanic, glacier, and forest moons operation. The entitled infestation has spread to all corners of the Godendanium system, which must be eradicated before the gravity of their nests start to warp this time-space continuum. Your Marines will have the Gravity Edge mecha suit and the Shattered Moon Collider power gloves at their disposal. Arms installation is complete. Good luck. So it's like a little roleplay moment. I can no longer, because this is not viewable on Instagram anymore, I cannot show you the post. And I wouldn't do that anyway because I wouldn't want to show off anybody's names or anything like that. But, basically the response was very mixed. You had your sort of, oh, very cool outfit, awesome Danny, we love you. And then you had the people saying, I'm Jewish, what is this? You're getting those responses saying, Danny, this is a little bit reminiscent of, Nazi imagery. And that became a controversy between basically fans saying, this is nothing, what are you talking about? And people saying, no, this is a little weird, I'd appreciate if you not, include imagery that is romanticizing, this sort of Nazi aesthetic. And so before the post went down, Danny was already deleting, basically, I don't recall if he was deleting the posts of people that were criticizing. He might have been, but he was blocking people. That for sure he was doing. He was blocking people from basically like their social media, and allegedly, from what I'm hearing, he's also has, I guess, like a ban list for the like shopping on the website as well. I mean, I can't see this ban list, so I can't really, and I am not a customer, so I can't vouch for this, but there's like a warning post, there's like forum posts about this, where smart doll collectors are saying that before this and after this, that they've basically been barred from making purchases because of XYZ reason, and this is just compounding that issue. So again, I'm sorry I'm laughing, I just think this is so funny. It's not funny, but it's fun, it's hilarious. So that's the post. Now, this is, I'll say my opinion right here. First of all, I'm not Jewish, but a lot of people are saying that, oh, it's just anime, it's not, Nazi imagery, you're overthinking it. I don't think you have to overthink it. I mean, as soon as I saw it, like, the moment I saw it, I was like, that's a little bit, like... I do want to add a clarification. It's not the outfit specifically that's just the issue. It's the whole combination of factors in the post. It's really the post, not this outfit specifically. Because the outfit alone, I mean, it definitely has its elements, but the added elements of the pose, as well as the text, the text being that she's commanding people to eradicate an infestation, that's really compounding all this. This is part of the reason why people are, making this connection and saying it's like an accidental Nazi moment. We look at the outfit, black military uniform, lots of buttons down the middle, got its red armband, or wine if you want to call it wine, but it's red. But it doesn't matter the color, it's an armband. And then you got the pose of her with her arm down, other arm up, stretched out, at eye level. So that already from the description, it's sounding really reminiscent. And then, she's saying eradicate the entitled. And it's really, I feel like you got to be like a millennium lore master to know whether or not what that even means. Because like, I was like trying to figure out, like, are the entitled like bugs? Is this like a species of like alien, like Muvlov, Earth Defense Force? Are these like alien bugs or something? Or are the entitled like people? Because I guess like there's another post where it's like they talk about like how they have influence, and it's like, I don't know. But it's still, it still hits those check marks of like, you imagine like an anime girl in that black military uniform, red armband, saying kill the infestation, exterminate them. It's the combination of everything, not just the outfit. I just want to make that clarification. Feels like the kind of thing that someone would do that, watched a lot of action movies like Indiana Jones. They have Nazis in that. Star Wars has a lot of fascist imagery, just kind of like you consume all this media and it's something you're nostalgic with, and it doesn't mean anything per se in the moment because these are all antagonists in their story. But if you grow up with that and you like it, you grow to like it, I should say, and you incorporate it in your product, it becomes thoughtless. You might have an accidental Nazi moment. Sorry about that moment. I had a small interruption. So I lost my train of thought. Somebody walked into this room while I had the picture of the Nazi girl up. Not Nazi, excuse me. She's not technically Nazi. She's a solar marine. But anyway, let's get to Danny's response, which is very interesting. So in his response, he opens with a screenshot of TV tropes, which of course he does, and he says, "I've got 2 things to apologize for today. I apologize that our products continue to be offensive. The latest example has been the Solar Marine Commander uniform, which has a wine-colored armband." Wine, okay. "To me, this is an aesthetic, but I have been made to interpret it as a racist symbol. Announced over a year ago, the Solar Marine uniform also has a wine armband, which is why the Commander uniform followed the aesthetic. The main character in an anime, Haruhi, wore a red armband in Japanese society, which symbolizes leadership or distinguishes groups. You see the red armband being worn in many anime shows too. On the same subject, pressure is being put on the Japanese government to remove the manji symbol from Japanese maps because folks interpret it as a swastika, but in fact it is used to symbolize a temple. Nothing to do with Nazism. However, I am not making excuses for the Solar Marine design, which brings me to my second apology. SmartDoll has option hand packs containing gestures that I have been told are racist in certain cultures and should not be sold. The flat hand is a Nazi sign. It's just one example. I was in the middle of making an okay hand gesture when I was told it would offend folks because it's now considered racist symbol. The most constructive feedback I get out of our offensive racist decisions to make more cocoa-skinned dolls, which goes, most of the world is white, so you should make more white dolls and not black ones. I even get feedback about medical devices. Stop making hearing aids because it encourages people not to learn sign languages. Because of you, sign language, it'll die out. So my second apology is for not intending to change the design or halt sale of products that did not have any intent to be offensive, because everything we do will end up offending folks in some way or another, be it hand gestures, cocoa skin dolls, medical devices, or wine-colored armbands. The only way to avoid offending anybody is not to do anything and pack up business, which is not going to happen. So I think this is a good enough reason to either boycott or avoid investing in SmartDoll, and encourage others to do the same. So this is shit. This is a really shit response. Not unexpected. I'm not surprised that this is his response, but it's absolute bullshit in my opinion. I'm not shy about saying that. So this is, in my opinion, worse than the accidental Nazi moment, because as I said before, I can understand someone, kind of accidentally coming out with that aesthetic, just having a small thoughtless moment and not realizing that your anime soldier girl is, is reflecting these aesthetics. But this is very intentional. This response is something that he clearly put thought into. So I'm going to go through it, in a little more detail right now. So I don't even know where to start. So I guess the first thing to say is, the armband situation. Was it wrong for people to interpret the armband to, be reminiscent of Nazi symbolism, or are people just ignorant to the red armband of leadership trope? I don't think the trope really fucking matters in this context. I'm gonna be honest here. First of all, I'm really confused by even like him saying it's the red armband of leadership, because okay, it's of leadership. He says in the post that all Sailor Marine people have this red armband. So him say, I don't get it. Okay, so you can see the other outfits on his Instagram, by the way. So like the, I guess, lower rank Solar Marine people, they wear like a biker jacket, and they have the red armband too. So those are not leaders, right? They're not leaders. So then, you have this other military outfit, which is a leader outfit and has the red armband, and he's saying that's just the red armband of leadership. But like, if everybody has the red armband, then it's not really is that not like a bad usage of the trope? I don't know. It just seems confusing to be citing this like TV tropes page, which is hilarious. That the fact that this like I'm choking. So funny. But yeah, I mean, isn't it supposed to be for leaders? If it's for everybody, then it's not a red armband of leadership. Also, the red armband thing, it's like usually that's on like school outfits too, right? Like when in an anime context, which is what he's allegedly, according to his usage of, you know, TV tropes, he's using it in like oh, this is just a thing that happens in anime. It's a military outfit, I think, right? Unless the Solar Marines is like a club in school. It doesn't look like a schoolgirl outfit, you know. I know that there are, you know, some anime that have schoolgirl outfits that are like reminiscent of military uniforms. An example would be Ikaruga from Senran Kagura, you know, that game series. But it's a military outfit. It's a military outfit, and they have red armbands. So I don't get you know, I don't see how the red armband of leadership trope even applies to this situation. It seems weird. Oh, okay. So I just want to add that on the page for TV tropes, I was looking at the actual TV tropes page for red armband of leadership. Under real life examples, they put Adolf Hitler. Oh my god! Oh no! Hello once again. This is post-video anglerfishy. I wanted to chime in with another thought that actually occurred to me after the fact, which is I think I'm focusing a little too much on, you know, trying to define the stupid armband as either, you know, is it the red armband of leadership or whatever. And, you know, it's really occurring to me that it doesn't have to be an either or situation. It can be and, you know, it can be multifaceted, as are, you know, many things, right? I can think of like anime examples where the red armband of leadership exists and it, you know, reflect Nazi aesthetics. So, you know, it is not necessarily, it does not exclude the possibility of Nazi aesthetics. So yeah, I mean, if you want to say that the Smart Doll Solar Sailor whatever outfit is, you know, red armband of leadership, okay, whatever. But I mean, that does not necessarily mean that it's not, you know, reflecting Nazi aesthetic either. You know, these two things can coexist simultaneously. One does not negate the other. The second thing that's not really addressed here is that, you know, it's kind of the whole ensemble that's the issue. It's not just the outfit. Like, if wine, who gives a shit if it's wine? That's hilarious. This is so funny. But it's the whole ensemble of the picture. So again, I mean, this is how he introduced the picture with this, you know, this lady doing this pose, and I want you to just like mentally like separate. And remember, there's a caption to this too. I read the caption on purpose because that's part of introducing this, you know, outfit, you know, to the world. You know, he decided to make this caption about eradicating, you know, this infestation or whatever. This is so funny. You can tell how uncomfortable I am talking about this. But just like imagine, like get Smart Doll out of your mind for a second and like just like like even draw it if you need to. Like, okay, lady in a military outfit with buttons, top down, lots of buttons, and it's black military outfit. She's got one arm down and one arm up. I don't want to do it. She's got one arm up to her eye level, stretched out, and on the armband that's down, the arm that's facing down, it has a armband. Make it any color you want. Is that not a Nazi aesthetic? Is that not like very reminiscent? I mean, again, I'm not suggesting he did this on purpose. I think it's perfectly reasonable that something like this could happen completely on accident. But it's self-evident, you know. I don't think that, you know, the people who were reminded of Nazi aesthetics are like, nitpicking or digging. I think it's really like, it's a very easy conclusion to come to. So the idea in this post that, people were just culturally, that the only way that you could come to this kind of conclusion that it's offensive is, because of cultural ignorance. I think that's unfair. I think that's a very unfair claim he's making. I think it's hilarious also that he brought up Haruhi, because I was an anime fan in the 2000s, and was it not like common for people to Photoshop Nazi symbols on the armband? I remember that happening. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the whole, for the outfit for Smart Doll, like if he wanted to avoid it being so reminiscent of Nazi Germany, maybe he should have like put a symbol or like, the name Solar Marine on it, so that way, your imagination doesn't fill the blank. I don't know. So going onwards in this post, so after he talks about the red armband, he starts just like going off about like the swastika and the manji and all this shit that's not relevant, and that is totally Danny style response. He cannot be brief. Anytime he gets criticism for something, he will kind of strawman, and he'll like kind of like write his own little blog post and be like, this is just like this and that and that and this, and this is like how people just don't respect Japanese culture and all this stuff. And I think it's if you can't address something directly, I think that's kind of obnoxious. What does this have to do with the Japanese government removing the manji? It's basically, he's just saying that people are making a big deal out of nothing. Okay, so I mean, I don't think it's nothing. I do think it's something. I think it's already, I think it's something. After this post, we were on Instagram, I was seeing people posing their Smart Dolls, giving the middle finger, like, this one goes out to the Karens, and they would have like an armband, and it's like, okay, so it's already a thing. You don't have to say like, oh, this is people making a big deal out of nothing. It's already something. It's already something. It's I'm not saying that the fans who are doing that, again, I'm not saying they're specifically, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that it's very thoughtless, people are saying, the Nazis target a lot of people. They targeted the Jews, Romani, disabled people, neurodivergent, queer, you know what I'm saying? Like, the ethnic cleansing was very, it was interesting, it was the Holocaust, the Holocaust, so, people, especially Jews though, they're saying that, this is very uncomfortable. I appreciate that you not incorporate this imagery, you don't want to invite this kind of discussion into the Smart Doll world, and instead of listening, they silenced them. He like blocked them, deleted the post, he turned off comments so they can't say nothing. So he's clearly silencing Jews, especially Jews. I mean, it's more than just Jews, but that's a big part of this, is silencing Jewish people from saying that, it makes them uncomfortable, and it makes them feel kind of unsafe, that this imagery is kind of accidentally, inadvertently being romanticized. And I think that's, and people, mocking them basically. I think it's some bullshit too, because I mean, even if you disagree, even if you're like, I still think that they're overreacting, is this really the moment to like just be the worst version of yourself? I don't know. I don't think that it is. I think there's ways it could be, you could respond to it a little more elegantly than that. I also just think it's super hypocritical too, because they it wasn't Danny like pro Black Lives Matter, right? Like that's a big part of his brand, you know, inclusivity, giving a voice to people who might not have a voice. You know, he's constantly comparing, you know, his journey as a doll CEO to like oppressed groups of people. Right. This is so funny. But so I mean, Black Lives Matter, a big factor in all of that was that you know, that was like, listen to, you know, Black people when they're talking about like the oppression that they face, you know. That's a part of the movement. And so, you know, I know we're not talking specifically about like African American people or anything like that, but like we're talking about, you know, people talking, if you were there for the comments, like people were talking about like how, you know, the genocide impacted them and that they don't want to be reminded of the genocide with, you know, on Danny's Instagram page. And yeah, it's just real hypocritical to choose to not listen to that and instead to choose to give a voice to the type of people that'll say, you know, facts don't care about your feelings and shit. I've already seen that. That's very fun, very interesting. So going down the post, he has this, okay, so there's a part of this where he's just like, he starts comparing them to like just racist people. So the most constructive criticism I get about our offensive racist decisions to make more cocoa skin dolls which goes, most of the world is white, so you should make more white dolls and not black ones. So so he's just describing racist people. He's describing bigots, white supremacists that, you know, claim this. And I haven't seen these posts, but I believe it. You know, I believe that there's probably is some sector of the smart doll world that you know, doesn't like black dolls, but he's putting that criticism, you know, bigoted criticism, blatantly bigoted criticism, on the same tier as like as the same tier as people saying that Holocaust imagery bad. So black dolls bad is the same criticism in his eyes as Nazi imagery bad. Oh god, I mean, it's just, it's so thoughtless, it's so offensive, it's absolute bullshit. And it's just, yeah. And then okay, so let me just get into something right now. Danny has always prioritized his own pride, always. So I'm gonna kind of go off of this post for a second and just talk about the history of Smart Doll. I'm not an expert, I'm not a lore master, but I have been in collecting dolls for like 4 or 5 years now, and I've been kind of following Smart Doll on and off because I've always kind of waxed and waned over, you know, getting a Smart Doll because they do have, you know, a wide range of colors. I like that they have the tea and cocoa skin colors. So, you know, for that reason, I have been keeping up with it, you know, and ultimately I've decided not to, and I probably won't. But so Smart Doll, for all of it markets itself, you know, based on wabi-sabi, it's, you know, inclusivity. It didn't always be that. It wasn't always that. It first started as basically, you know, he just made the kind of doll that he wanted, which was that they were anime dolls, you know. It was really like it came just from the weeb heart, you know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. You know, he wanted to make big titty dolls, and he made his big titty dolls, and back then he used to call them headlights. This was before he used to put pictures of like little girls enjoying Smart Dolls on his website. And this was before he like ever mentioned anything about wabi sabi on his website too. But it started that way. And he was really celebrated by like collectors because at the time, Volks was really considered stuffy. Volks, you know, because they're Dolphy Dreams. They're Dolphy Dreams are just not super accessible, not only for the price, but because, you know, you have your standard models, which is a very limited selection, and then everything else is going to be either a lottery or a, you know, pre-order, or there's dream choice, but like you have to be in the store for that, which obviously for international customers is really unviable a lot of the times. So Smart Doll was like a beacon of just like, it was inclusive, you know, in terms of like the skin colors. It was like, it was so much easier. The website was easier to navigate. Like, it was not hard to figure out. They had boy dolls. They had their clothes. It was like just so accessible, and that was a big appeal of Smart Doll back in the day, the accessibilities. And then, you know, they did have some elements of inclusivity through the skin colors, and they also had, I believe, a hijab option. But, you know, I remember back then, a lot of people, because they were so excited, they would give a lot of suggestions to Danny, and I remember he would not take kindly to a lot of those suggestions. Like, you know, I remember a common one was a Coco boy. And, you know, basically he would say it's not viable to make a Coco boy. And then basically anything related to the boys. Like, I remember people wanted more clothes for the Coco boys. They wanted more like interesting fashions, because it was like it was very basic clothes for the boys compared to the girls. And I think like he basically said like, you know, if you don't like what we offer, then fine, you know, then you know, basically he was saying that people were entitled for wanting, you know, more fashions for the boys, and they said like, just go get a BJD, basically. That was like something that he said back in the day, I believe, and I don't have screenshots because this is like years and years ago, and I'm not gonna go searching for this shit. This all culminated to him eventually writing this like manifesto why BJDs suck. This is hilarious. So like there was like right now he has this like before you buy section, and it goes over like, you know, Smart Dolls. Before that, he had a required reading section, and it was like a series of blog posts strung together, and one of the required readings was basically like saying, if you have BJDs, or if you are interested in BJDs, you will not like Smart Doll, because we are fundamentally unable to reach your expectations. So we encourage you to not buy Smart Doll, and we encourage you to tell your friends to not buy Smart Doll. And like, he gave the comparison that BJDs are like IKEA cups, and Smart Dolls are like handmade mugs that are like, you know, like I forget the term, but like, you know, that they're fixed and stuff like that. That's the comparison he made, which as a BJD owner, I don't have one with me, but like, I think that's so funny. I don't know if he's held a BJD before, but they are definitely not IKEA cups. Like, some of them cannot sit. It is a very chaotic world. So I'm not saying that some BJD people aren't, you know, very entitled. I've definitely seen my fair share of bad takes in the BJD world, but that's a wild comparison to make, of all things. Okay, but yeah, he was basically like, that was an old school take too. So which is why I'm not surprised to see this. The issue is that now things are more serious, because his brand is all about elevating people who might not have had a voice in the past. So like, he has dolls with disabilities, he has dolls with skin conditions, he has dolls with dramatic backstories that are like meant to be inspirational. So people do expect mindfulness, you know, they do expect this. It's not entitled for a customer to expect, you know, that the brand not have imagery that could be, you know, viewed as offensive, that because that is part of the brand now. So him having this like bullhorned approach to like, you know, no, it's not a me thing, it's a you thing, you know, you know, he's very much, he has this thing on his new like before you buy section, and I'll see if I can find it, but because I was reading it because this is so fascinating to me. So he says customers are not treated like gods. Instead, we treat them as friends. This can be a deal breaker for some consumers who prefer the customer's always right treatment. So in his eyes, this is friendly treatment. This is, you know, like, if you don't like what I have to say, then we're not friends anymore. And I feel like there's a middle ground. He's just, you know, I agree, the customer is not always right. But, like, you don't have to, like, just go onto the other extreme of, like, characterizing them as wrong all the time, especially when, in my opinion, and in a lot of opinion, and I think the majority opinion, it's very reasonable for someone to look at that product photo and see the shadows of, you know, Nazi imagery. So I think that's a very reasonable conclusion to come to. I don't know. I think, yeah, and I really hate this last sentence where he's like, you know, encourage others to do the same. I don't like that call to action to basically gatekeep smart doll land. I just, okay, so like, just imagine for a second you're like you're not reading this from Danny, like you're at a doll meet and it's just like you and your doll friends, and some regular schmegular person says like, actually I don't think that certain people should have smart dolls because they just don't get it, you know, they're just not smart enough for small doll. I flubbed that last line. But that's obnoxious. That's like such bullshit. So I can't imagine another business doing this, like completely unrelated. Like, imagine I'm into notebooks too, so like Archer and Olive is like a vegan company. So imagine if they're like, if you own a Leuchtturm, you're just not gonna like us, and you should like not interact with us and tell your friends that they would not like us either. That way you don't get disappointed. Like, it's very, very weird, and it's just the total opposite of what I said before. The initial appeal of Smart Doll was that inclusivity, that it had that very chill vibe, and now it doesn't. It's very, like, it feels very elitist, at least again from an outsider looking in. And I'm trying to not, you know, mischaracterize it either. You know, I don't like when people just make knee-jerk reactions and say, oh, all collectors are like this. I know that all collectors are like this, but it is, you know, this is a really interesting brand, unlike most doll brands, because it has a influencer face, right? Like, I don't know shit about the CEO of like Volks or Lutz or anything, but Danny has chosen to be the face of Smart Doll. And I mean, this is maybe a hard pill to swallow, but if you choose to make your face and your personality one of the selling points of your brand, then I mean, that is in some regard a boost because it makes your brand more relatable to some people, but it's also a glass ceiling, because if we don't like, you know, how you conduct yourself online, I mean, that's gonna impact people's desire to support your product. I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like, and this is not a comprehensive response to every Smart Doll drama. You know, I've heard that there's some kind of thing that happened with the Smart Doll bag back in the day, and blah 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 blah. I don't know. I don't even know about this like hearing aid. Honestly, I'm not even going to regard it, because Danny has as you can see here, he has a habit of misrepresenting dramas when he responds to them. So I kind of doubt that this, you know, this actually happened in this way. If I had to guess, it was probably people who had hearing disabilities making recommendations on how to improve it. If that seems like a more what probably happened more than people saying, stop making hearing aids, you're gonna wipe out sign language. That seems like a very dramatic interpretation of what probably actually happened. So yeah, he's just basically, Danny is choosing his pride over basic decency. He's choosing his pride over just like people's dignity, is what I'm saying. Look, as customers, we are not entitled to a perfect company. And as him, a CEO and owner of a business, he's not entitled to a perfect customer base either. I'm not saying that's an invitation for people to just be complete, like, demanding assholes that don't respect their, like, time and efforts. But, you know, he can't dictate how people react. You know, he can't, you know, dictate, you know, whether or not something offends someone. He can't, you know, he's trying to filter that. You know, he turned off his comments. He was blocking people. And like I said, he has, according to what I'm reading on Instagram stories and on like other posts, he has like basically a ban list. He really is trying to cultivate his audience to be as pro Danny as possible. And I think that is a very ironically an example of not elitism, excuse me, of entitlement. You know, he feels that he needs his audience to like him. And I don't think they need to like every, you know, take that he makes. You know, just because they might like, you know, one inspirational story one day does not mean they're gonna like every other story he has to tell. And maybe more importantly than this, that people are not entitled to being offended to this whole thing. I feel like people have the right to not like his brand for pettier reasons too. Like, people are giving very legitimate reasons for, you know, having concerns over his PR, but like, people could just write him off because he's annoying. Again, you know, they could just be like, this is just, I am sick of, you know, these stormtrooper dances. You know, this like he went through like a short phase where he was putting all his black dolls in the like Wakanda pose. I need to go now. My planet needs me. This meme shit. Like that. I feel like, you know, everyone's limit for bullshit is different. And if someone, you know, has a very legitimate, like, profound reason, such as I said, the Nazi imagery, that is one thing, but it doesn't even need to get to that point. They could just be like, I can't stand these smart doll bags and their, you know, Teddy Roosevelt meme shit, because again, that is how he chose to market himself. He chose to market himself based on his personality. He puts his face on it. The smart doll account is his Instagram. Even before that, Mariah Millennium, he still would integrate his, you know, self, you know, his self, himself in those like things. That's what he chooses. And like I said, that's a glass ceiling. If you can't, you know, you just because you choose to be relatable does not mean everybody's going to relate to you. Not everyone's going to relate to, you know, the red armband of whatever. I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to just make some of these smart doll fans feel a little heard, is what I'm saying. Again, I am not impacted by this. I'm not a smart doll person, whatever. But it makes me feel bad, you know, because I still see these smart doll collectors on their social media just like racking their brain about what they should do next. Like, should they go forward with, you know, boycotting smart doll? Like, some of these collectors, like, they don't have a lot of options outside of smart doll when it comes to like darker colors. You know, unfortunately, Volks, it's still hard to get those tan skins, and they don't even go as dark as what smart dolls did. And then you know, for non-Volks vinyl dolls, like, forget about it. I think maybe there might be some for angelphilia, but that's a very different aesthetic. I don't know. I do feel for people. And smart doll also, you know, the community is a little different with BJDs, because a lot of smart doll people only collect smart dolls. So they've like invested hundreds and hundreds into this specific brand. and I feel bad for them because a lot of them feel betrayed. They're just now realizing that, like, oh yeah, when it comes to like serious issues like this, he's gonna choose himself over, you know, biting his pride and saying, you know what, I'm sorry. You know, he's not the type of person to do that. At least that's what he shows of himself here on social media. So I feel for them. I don't really have like a solution. You know, there are not a lot of like dark-skinned options outside of Smart Doll when it comes to vinyl. I mean, there's Granado also, but that's not anime style. Dollbot has one, but I don't know what the purchasing process is, and it's a very different aesthetic from Smart Doll. You know, they're MDD style anyway. I guess, you know, if you are a Smart Doll fan that's, you know, strongly considering, you know, dolls outside of Smart Doll, I mean, I feel like, you know, you might want to consider, you know, the BJD world. It's still not perfect there. I'll tell you that right now. We've had this recent boom in like doll, you know, anime dolls, but they still mostly have like the MDD aesthetic. Most of them don't offer tan. Doll Family H does though, I know that for sure. Sweetie Doll has one that's like in 1/5 scale. Lutz has a couple of anime dolls that, you know, they offer in their standard wide range of tan colors actually. So they're an option. But yeah, it's a shitty situation. The good thing is though is that maybe this is a weird thing to point out, but at least he's not J.K. Rowling. Like, at least this is just thoughtlessness more than anything. This is just him, you know, chasing an aesthetic he thought was cool. And like I said, he's just proud. And, you know, it's not like he's doing this intentionally, as far as I can tell. And it's not like he has political influence, as far as I know. So, you know, at the end of the day, do what makes you feel most comfortable. If you're not comfortable supporting him, then, you know, there's the secondhand market, I would say, you know, right? In conclusion, I just think that Danny Choo needs to get a PR agent and take a vacation. That's really the the main takeaway from all this. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is a long ass video, so you have a wonderful rest of your day and you take care. Bye-bye. Hello, this is Anglerfishy once more. So, this is actually a re-upload. Some of my wonderful followers may have already seen this video, the first version, but I'm opting to re-upload it because the day I uploaded the original, which was, what day is today? I'll have to put it on the screen because I'm really tired. I just got out of work, so I'm a little bit tired right now. Back is hurting, you know what I'm saying? But I did want to kind of go through this video again, edit a few things, and add to it, because the same day that I uploaded it, as I was saying before, Danny, you know, he updated his website, and this was pointed out to me by Miss Sai Inu. Thank you for pointing this out to me. And I really debated if I wanted to, like, just, you know, update, you know, like my description, but it's like, nah, let's update this video, because it was like the same day I uploaded the original, so why not? You know, not a lot of time has passed. So Danny has spoken once more, and I'm not going to update every time he speaks, but this is, you know, in response to boycott Danny Choo. So that's hashtag that is, you know, starting to go around. And Danny is, you know, taken it upon himself to be at the forefront of the boycott. And he has on his website, you know, right there on the front, a little post with his little chibi characters, and, you know, the text reads as it follows. I want to thank those who are volunteering in the boycott. Excuse me, my apologies. Like I said, I'm a little bit tired right now. I want to thank those who are volunteering in the Boycott Smart Doll effort to encourage entitled customers to boycott Smart Doll and shop elsewhere. No matter how hard I try to deter the entitled, that's his new favorite word. No matter how hard I try to deter the entitled from buying, they keep buying Smart Doll goodies. While some businesses would be flattered, Smart Doll ending up in the hands of the entitled is demoralizing. I made some campaign images for those helping out. Feel free to print out Feel free to print out on badges, tees, and posters and monetize from too. Hopefully the funds will help keep up the motivation while volunteering. Happy boycotting. So this guy, you know, like, he just has to have the final word, you know. It's like, oh, thanks, you know, like I said before in my previous version of this video, he is just so entitled to having things his way in terms of his audience. He can't accept that people are boycotting on his own terms, so he has to swing it around to be like, yes, thank you, took my suggestion, how astute of you, here, let me instruct you on how to boycott properly. You know, obviously don't take this bait, you know, don't actually use those goodies. Like, let's be real here, those like little chibi pictures, the people that are going to be using that are going to be people mocking, you know, former Smart Doll fans. You know, they're going to be mocking the people who were in the original post that, you know, expressed their concerns. So it's just another tool for him to girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep the community, you know what I'm saying? So don't fall for the bait, you know, just do, like I said, you know, do whatever you need to do. Don't feel discouraged just because Danny's trying to make everything about himself. One more thing. If you are gonna use any kind of hashtag to, you know, express your feelings about, you know, any kind of Smart Doll boycott that might be going on, I would not encourage anyone to use hashtag boycott Smart Doll, because I feel like that'll obscure the entire point, you know, because it's not about hating on dolls, it's not about hating on the employees of the doll company. It's not even about hate per se. It's about, you know, criticizing the doll company's CEO, Danny Choo. So if you're gonna use any hashtag, don't do it the way he wants you to do it. You know, at the least do boycott Danny Choo. Make this about him, because, you know, if we go about saying, oh, you know, Smart Doll, he's just gonna loop it around and say, oh, well, the entitled, they just don't appreciate the hard work of my employees, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, don't do it the way he wants you to do it, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, I believe that is all from me. I apologize for releasing this monster of a video. I don't plan on this being a trend, and I don't plan on reporting on this. That's for certain. This really is just a very elaborate long rant. So I hope you enjoyed this rant. I don't know, was it enjoyable? I have no idea. So especially thank you to the previous people who watched this video, because I said this is a re-upload. So, you know, thank you for, you know, the comments that I received. I had 17 people watch, which, you know, to some people might not sound like a lot, but I really appreciated that. That was a really long video, so I appreciate you took the time out of your day to watch that. So don't know, again, who's gonna watch this. Unlike the last video, I am going to probably tag this video. So, you know, if you've never seen this channel before, thank you again for your time, and I ask that you please be respectful in the comments, because as I said, I don't think this is about nothing. You know, this is people being really vulnerable about how they feel, and being openly mocked on the internet by the CEO of the doll company that they've sunk hundreds of dollars to. So, you know, I think it calls for a little bit of mindfulness. So you all have a wonderful day. Stay cool. It's hot as hell where I am right now. So you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.